What's up? My name is DJ Numark from Los Angeles, California. I didn't have a name, everybody else had a name, and they're like, oh, it's underneath your nose, you're just not thinking of it, and I was literally DJing on a Numark mixer. I know that's a corny story, but it was literally underneath my nose. So my name's Mark, I figured Numark, and Numark was definitely ahead of everybody as far as electronics and mixers were concerned at that time, so I stuck with it. A bass player I used to jam with in junior high, his uncle was a really good DJ, and he used to go to New York, get all the records, come back to LA. He would make us mix tapes. We would break to him in the living room. So one day I was like, man, let me just see how he's doing all this, and I was just blown away. The mixer was just like, whoa, what kind of technology is that, in the 80s? I was like, I don't even know what that thing does. So I was watching him repeat, Malcolm McLaren phrases and doing all kinds of stuff, and I was like, I want to do that. The first house party I did was in 1988, and it was with the group of cats that I was DJing with called Bum Rush Productions, and we were DJing on an ironing table, and it was super wobbly, and it's still to this day probably the best house party I've ever been been to, let alone DJ. We didn't even have crates. Like we were really crude about it. Like the records were just stacked up, and we would just kind of sift through records like this. Like it was just like, what are we thinking? Like speakers kept going out. The homie Cliff kept plugging in the speakers. Like it was just one of those gigs. Like it was just. And what's funny that you asked about that is we're doing the reunion party to that. So we're getting back the old crew of DJs together, so reunite all the people from high school that went to our house parties. Well, I'm thinking about the ironing board. It has to be a super sturdy one this time, though, man. I can't go out twice.
Right.
I might bring one. Actually, I got a good ironing board, dude. Yeah, you're on it, man. When they first presented Scratch Ultimate DJ to me, and I saw the unit, and they demoed it for me, and I checked it out, played with it, I was like, okay, so the next logical step for that 10-year-old kid that's messing around with this at the house is getting a pair of turntables. It starts from something as simple as a video game, and it really spreads out to different things. A simple video game, you got a few knobs and you're cutting, it makes it fun, and that's what music is. It should be fun.
It's cool when you freak to the beat, but don't sweat the technique.